Let's talk about growing aquatic plants and how the concept of CO2 and light will determine whether you succeed or fail. Near the end, I'll share a metaphor I made to explain the relationship between light intensity, CO2, and how long you can keep it on. Plants use CO2 as a fuel source for growth. Carbon is what knits together the tissues of plants, and CO2 is the main source of carbon for aquatic plants. The more light you put in, the more CO2 is used through photosynthesis. Sadly, CO2, while an essential part of plant growth, is also the limiting factor for aquatic plants in aquariums without CO2 supplementation. In aquariums, CO2 usually does not exceed 5 part per million, which is quite low compared to the 20 to 30 part per million found in native heavily planted waters. And CO2 and light intensity are what determines how long you can keep your light on, whether it be for a long time, 8 to 12 hours, or for a short time, 4 to 6 hours. Now let's go over my metaphor that explains this relationship and why you can't blast a ton of light in your aquarium and keep it on all day. In this metaphor, the light that fuels photosynthesis is represented by fire, which burns and consumes the firewood, and CO2 is the firewood itself, fueling the growth of the flame. Without the firewood fueling the growth and maintaining the flame, it would go out, just like photosynthesis of aquatic plants will stop without CO2 and growth will halt. Or all of the new growth will simply turn white and you'll experience severe melt. You can have high light intensity on the planted aquarium, but only for a short duration. Just like you can have a large fire roaring in your campsite, but only for a short duration. Because just like CO2 is exhausted during photosynthesis by light, the fire will be consumed by the roaring flame and exhaust itself faster. On the other end, you can have a low light intensity on an aquarium for a long time, just like a small flame would stay on for a long time, slowly consuming the firewood. Since the flame is smaller, it takes longer for it to consume the firewood. Just like an aquarium with low light intensity would exhaust the CO2 supply slowly. This is not a hard and fast rule because some plants can use carbonate in place of CO2.